I want to talk about how we can rebuild London in 2021. I want to abolish the congestion charge until 2022. I also want to zero out business rates until 2022 as well. And I want to create the Great Celebration, a 31-day event celebrating the best of London, 20 million people coming into this city. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Here's some artwork here that we're putting up that just gives you a little flavor as to what this is all about. And we're really excited to talk to you about this today. The next thing I really want to talk about is how we can make London safe. And the truth is, the mayor is doing an absolutely horrible job of keeping our streets safe. And even just a few days ago, you can see this headline from the Express, and I'll read it out. It's hard to read. It says, "London double stabbing horror. Police rush to scene as man killed in brutal street attack." And we've seen the mayor failure after failure when it comes to keeping our streets safe. Every single year for the past 5 years, knife crime has gone up. It's up now a horrific 28.5% in 5 years, and he has no plans. He has no ownership, he claims, over even the Met Police themselves, and he's just failed us time and time again. It's time that we vote in someone with new ideas, with a fresh perspective. I want to put 10,000 new officers on the street, and I know how to pay for it. I want to better train the Met Police and fully digitize them. I want to create corporates for communities and inject £100 million of corporate donations into these community centers like the two I visited today. And I'm going to work with Jamal Edwards, the founder of SBTV, to really highlight exactly how he's been successful in this space and how we can scale this up even more. So now I want to hear from you. Please ask me a question, ask me hard questions, and tell me, what borough do you live in, or what city do you live in? What is your biggest challenge? What's the question you want to ask me? Tell me, how have you been impacted financially by the pandemic, and do we need to rebuild London's economy with big moves like we have, like London's Great Celebration? Next, tell me, the mayor just recorded 2 more knife crime murders in last week. Is it time that we replaced him with someone who wants to make our streets safe, someone who has a plan to put 10,000 new officers on the street, and of course make the Met better trained and fully digitized? And finally, do you think it's time for an independent voice, fresh ideas, and a new direction? So I'm going to your questions right now. Thank you so much for putting these in. I appreciate it. I'm going to start first with our website. And I've got John that said, "Hello, dear Brian, our future mayor. I've got one question. I'm a private hire driver, been working over 25 years. Since Mr. Khan became a mayor, we've been decimated. We can't wait to see you soon in the mayor's office. My question is, what can you do for private hire drivers regarding the congestion charge? We don't even make 50 pounds a day. From that, we pay 15 pounds. We end up with 35 pounds, and I can't even feed my kids. Please, please, can you do something about it? Many thanks, our mayor," unquote. John, first of all, I appreciate your support. It really means a lot to me. And you highlight one of the biggest problems we're facing as a city. We need to rebuild our economy. We're one of the worst performing cities in Europe. And yet, the mayor is trying to raise and extend your congestion charge. He doesn't understand basic economic fundamentals, which means you can't tax something that you're trying to rebuild and reinvigorate. And so my plan is to abolish the congestion charge for the rest of this year until 2022. And by doing so, you're going to get as many people in London as possible. You're going to kickstart business, and you're going to revitalize the economy. This is so important, and this is one of my big plans as your next mayor of London. I also want to call out Judith in Havering, who asked via the website. She said, "Does Brian Rose have a policy to remove the policies which have decimated London's black cab taxi trade since 2015? And it's a great question. And Judith, I've probably taken your taxi home. I take a taxi home every single night. I also take them throughout the week as well. And the truth is that the mayor has been massively disrespectful to the black cab industry and to taxis in general. He has not recognized them as part of TfL, which black taxis clearly are, because they have a very important service. They pick up handicapped passengers when they have no other options in places like the Bank Junction, in places like Bishopsgate here in London. I know the issues that these taxi drivers face because I've taken hundreds of their rides over the past 6 months. Also, they've been handicapped by the mayor's street space scheme that he cooked up that really penalized these taxi cab drivers. And they've just won a high court ruling that said what the mayor did was illegal, that he pushed these schemes through during the pandemic. And so I understand the problems that taxi drivers face. At the end of the day, you're an entrepreneur just like I am. And I support businesses and entrepreneurs. The mayor doesn't. He doesn't respect business people. He doesn't understand it's an important part of rebuilding the economy. And I'm going to change that as well. Got some great comments coming here from Instagram. I got Bud Renata said, I hope you're going to win. Thank you. I got Melanie Austin that says, looking good, Brian. Thank you so much. The bus definitely makes me look good. Lee Mitchell on Instagram said, when is the debate? And he's talking about my challenge to the current mayor of London, Sadiq Khan. And I'll say it again right now. Mr. Mayor, when will you debate me? I've been asking now for over 2 months. All we're asking for is a simple debate. You can put out your version of the facts. I can put out all of the facts that show that you have failed London when it comes to keeping our streets safe. You have failed to build affordable homes. You have broken our transport infrastructure, and you have no plan to rebuild our economy. Let's have an open and honest debate, and we can let the people decide. I am challenging. We can do this anytime, anyhow, anywhere. But Mr. Mayor, let us know. I'm still waiting to hear back from you. If you want to find out, go to his social media feeds right now and say, when will you debate Brian Rose? Use the hashtag Brian for Mayor or @tag me on Instagram or Twitter or wherever, and maybe he'll give us an answer. Again, all we want is a debate, and then I want you to decide, and we'll see what he has to say. SG Pap on Instagram says, you talk about 10,000 more police. What about holding them accountable when they break the law? We need more accountability. They are not above the law because they are public servants. And you make a great point. And I was on the phone with a senior member of Metropolitan Police on Friday, and he said this. He said, Brian, we need better training for our police. I'll be the first one to say it. They are not well trained, which means sometimes they don't perform the best they can on the streets. He said, Brian, with your plan of 10,000 more officers, that will allow my officers to have 2 days per month where they can focus on training. And I'm talking about community-led training where they train with the communities they're going to police, with members of the community that go along with them, and they tell them, what do they struggle with? What makes them angry about the police? How did the police do things wrong? I was just spending time with Eliza from her incredible charity, and I just want to give her a shout out again, Lives Not Knives. And her staff said, you know what? A lot of times these police, they stop and search these kids, which we agree it's important to get these knives off the street, but they do it in a way that could be more respectful. They could take them away from their friends and family. They could have a quiet word and do it. It's just about being a little bit more aware, a little bit more respectful. The police want this too. They have a very difficult job to do. I have a plan to pay for those 10,000 officers through my infrastructure levy, which I outlined on Friday at my Real Deal in the studio. And by doing so, I will give them the time for more training. Everyone wins. The citizens win, the police win. So again, I appreciate the question, SG. And again, I'm here to answer hard questions. So ask me hard questions, and that's what we're here to do.